Shekeila.
Oh God.
Shekeila Scarlett.
Oh.
We heard about
You brought my whole government name to
Hold on,
YouTube.
Them man there. Listen, you gotta watch out for people like him.
Yeah,
you know.
but you
I
want
be
people
trying
to
to tell
find-
you.
What's your Instagram?
Oh, but it's just Shekeila S. Like,
That's
not,
what I thought.
Yeah,
See,
but
that's
your
what I
thing.
was
Yeah, but
thinking.
your
my
thing.
name does
That
say
could
It
it.
be
but-
literally
superhero.
says it right underneath it.
Yeah, but you
That's
got.
how I know it.
You got to
pays
pay
attention
attention.
to that?
Exactly.
Me.
Man, them sub man. Read everything. Read everything.
I read.
Well. Here
Who
we
you got
go.
it for?
What's going on there? Could you tell us how we met? That's what I want to know quickly. How did we meet?
How did we meet?
Yeah.
Well,
That's what it sounded like, innit? You know them Big Zoo?
Well-
One of them Big Zoo was on the news and he was talking
We
about how he met.
met-
Yeah.
Just holding up the whole thing.
Riley.
Rylane
I was hoping you would
Film.
remember. Jeez. Like,
screening. Of course, I remember. Come on, guys.
Alright,
Let's be
cool,
real.
cool.
Film screening. I attended with my mate Queen Mojo. Big up yourself.
She's on next week.
Yeah, and yeah, it was good, fun vibes. And then we got to the end of the event, and we was like
We was just loud and got kicked
loud,
out.
and they said, "Guys, you need to leave," and we was like, "Okay," and then we
Yeah.
just got into real deep conversation,
Yeah.
and it was like, yeah.
The rum
This
was
is a
rumbling
vibe.
at that point.
It was. It definitely
We
was.
They were
definitely
keeping
loud.
that going as
we
well,
was-
boy.
Yeah, we was there for a hot
Did any
minute
of you guys
after that.
win like the sip and paint?
I gave them back my. I don't really. I'm not that guy. Like if I win, like I was just like, look, you know what? Just drop me out.
I hear
there.
you. I hear
Just
you.
drop
Yeah,
me
I
out
was
I
just
hear
kind of doing it for more participation, just
Yeah,
to
me
get
too.
involved.
Yeah.
Because they
was
were
just
like, "Rad, do you mind if I was like, nah, I'm not really."
I hear you.
Not today, bro. You
I
hear
was
me?
like,
trying to keep
Humble with it.
low
Yeah,
key with it.
Love that.
Low key.
Yeah, I
with
wasn't even really bothered, like
Low
kind
key
of thing
with
like
it.
that. So like, I saw people winning in that, but I was like, you know what, like, but
I'll allow them the time.
Yeah,
to what,
yeah,
like,
same,
I hear
same.
you. I hear you.
it. Same.
nah, I'm saying.
I hear you.
So yeah, man, we know you
Yeah.
roughly the same time as Dan's been doing his whole Templar. Temple. Why did I say Templar?
It's Temple.
Temple. It's because
What's it been? 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Has it been that? Has it been?
It's been about 6 weeks.
It's
Huh?
been about that.
Really? I thought it was longer.
No, it's been about 6
It's
weeks.
after my birthday, so yeah, about
When was your birthday?
March the 3rd.
Oh, okay.
Okay, 17th.
March the 19th.
Free Pisces. What? Pussy, yo.
Well.
March the 19th is my anniversary.
Is it?
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
Call me Oba, you know.
Big party next year.
Lewis's 40th is my anniversary.
Oh man.
Not 40th. Wow.
Explain to me
Oh God.
what a governor is
Oh, here we go.
and what being on the board of trustees is, because we know that's what you're about. Yeah.
You brought this to YouTube?
Yeah. We want to know, because I actually don't know.
Well-
like I always see like
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm on the board and I'm the governor and I'm on the trustee, and I'm like, that sounds cool. I don't know what the fuck that means.
What is that?
So the best way I can describe it is a governor and a trustee are legal key holders, either governors for schools and trustees for organizations and charities. Essentially, you make the strategic decisions for organizations and schools. So being a governor, you essentially manage the finance budget, making sure that the school is adhering to what our policies outline, really not treading the line of operational, so getting involved with the hand stuff, well, day-to-day should I say, but more the strategic vision of what the school's doing or the strategic vision of the company. I've been a trustee since I was 18, so literally
Wow.
turned
Is that
18.
is that normal?
No. No. So being a trustee at 18 is not normal. I started with, so I'm a trustee, chair of trustees of Immediate Theatre, and I started as a young person as a participant. So I've grown with the organisation. The organisation is 26 now.
Wow.
And I started when I was 12, after being permanently excluded, and literally
At 12.
So I
Story.
was gonna land on that.
Oh,
so I was
God.
gonna try to build up to it and this that because we had read that. So you had been permanently excluded from your school, but it got overturned.
Yeah, so I had to appeal my exclusion. Basically, I was excluded for
Bullying or something like that.
no, I was being bullied.
Right.
My bully gave me an art standing knife and told me hold it for a lesson. I did as I was told because if anything had shown me, previous experience had shown me anything, if you don't do what you're told, you're gonna get mashed up. That happened. I think he attempted to use it, and then it was a case of he got caught, brought my name into it, saying I held it, and the head teacher was like, "You're done for, mate."
For holding it.
For holding it.
Yeah,
Accomplice,
I
basically,
suppose.
which is fair.
Oh, because you said he had used
Which is
it.
fair,
Yeah.
but I guess in the process of it, I was out of school for 8 weeks. Year 8, not a life-changing year, but in that time, things changed very quickly. And it was like, if it wasn't for my mum deciding to appeal my exclusion, because it was like, oh yeah, you're excluded, go to a pupil referral unit, all boys. At 12, 13, are you all right? My mum was like, nope, not happening. And especially, I come from Hackney, like, at that time, there was one pupil referral unit in Hackney, and my life could be very different. Like, my life would have been very different if I did do that. My mum didn't stick up for me. Anyways, went to a board. This is where my journey to becoming a governor started. Went to appeal my exclusion, sat across the table from governors that didn't look like my school or didn't reflect my background particularly, but it was more like white middle class people sitting around a table making a decision on my life without any context and stuff. And luckily, like, my mum was able to get an advocate for my appeal, who really said, Shekeila, sit down and write what's happened, because they don't see that when you're being excluded. They, more so now actually it happens, but back then it didn't. There wasn't a file, and I didn't have a file. I wasn't a bad child.
Yeah.
I didn't have a file, so they didn't know where I was coming from or how I ended up at this position. They saw I was just excluded, and obviously later on the school actually said I was excluded to be made an example of.
Oh wow.
And too often back then, it was a case of it happened too many times that way. Like, people were being excluded for, oh, we can't be bothered to deal with you, or you're being made an example of. And actually, like, me facing the governing panel at that time, I was like, how can you make a decision about my life when you don't even reflect our school's community? I went to a school in Islington, and it was one of the schools, we called it the school for Hackney rejects, where if you didn't get into a school in Hackney, you went to that school in Islington.
Okay.
And it was a creative school and whatever not, but it was just one of those things where, like, a lot of Hackney waste went there, and it was a multicultural school in all aspects. Like, you had a lot of people that went to our school are in the industry now, entertainment industry, actors, musicians, drummers, everything. And if there's a white middle class people controlling the keys to this school, like, how can you really reflect and make the right choices? And I said, you know what? Something here's got to change. At that time, didn't know exactly how. Started doing other things, got involved with immediate theatre right after being excluded. And again, like I always say, immediate theatre changed my life.
What is immediate
I was
theatre?
about to ask.
Immediate Theatre is an arts-based organisation that works in Hackney, doing estate-based youth theatres. So instead of theatre as a whole isn't accessible to young people. Like, you have to go to the theatre in order to do theatre or do drama, whereas actually immediate theatre brings theatre to people in their estates. And actually, like, the programme as itself has been running for well over 20 years now, and it's changed lives of different people, because actually the access to the arts and culture industry as a whole is very difficult. If you come from a working class background, no matter what the colour of your skin, how do you access theatre? And actually, it started with them doing outreach. They spoke to my mum in the street and was like, oh, do you have a child that's of this age? My mum was like, yeah. And they was like, oh, we're doing a programme literally down the road from my house. Like, if you feel she might benefit from it. And my mum's like, okay, I'm following you, because I was disengaged, like, being out of school for 2 months practically, isolated. My mum said, you can have your phone, you can have everything, but you ain't going out. So you better look at your friends from upstairs over the balcony. You ain't going out. And, like, all credit to her, it made a difference. Like, it really made me value how much or who I wanted, how much I needed to do, but who I wanted to be in this world, because I didn't want to be that again. Like,
And
I
quite early on from the sound of it.
Exactly. Like, I made a vow to myself, I will never disappoint my mum again, and I haven't. Like, thank God. But it was just one of those things, like, you having that experience was traumatic. Yeah. I was labelled, like, about girl gang prevention, put on youth offending, all of these things, just from one mistake, essentially. And actually, if you think about going back to prior to the exclusion, I had told the school what was going on, and they still didn't do anything about it. So it was just as a result of whatever had happened. But anyways, the journey started from there. I said another student shouldn't be like me, sitting across the table from a panel that didn't reflect the community they served, because essentially as a governor, it's voluntary role, so you don't get paid for it. Trustee is also voluntary, you don't get paid for it, but it's like you serve a community of some sort. I tend to, when it comes to recruitment for both my boards, I tend to recruit for people that have either lived experience, or they can bring an experience that will benefit our school community or our charity community, because actually I'm all about giving back to what we do. And actually Immediate Theatre has done that throughout the years. And like I said, I wouldn't be the person I am without them, because I moved through the organisation as a young person, and then was co-opted onto their youth board and chaired the youth board up until a point. And then when I got to 18, it was like, you need to be a trustee. I was like, a trustee? And it's coming from a working class black background, and Hackney as well. Let's add that caveat, because that's a big part of it. Yeah. What is a trustee? Like, no one around me had been a trustee. And through that experience, like, I learned so much just about organisation, life skills and stuff like that. So developing through them, got involved with other things, like with Hackney Council. And then I set up a programme with Hackney Council to get young governors, young people in Hackney governing. Mm-hmm. And it was quite interesting, because I was like, okay, this is my in. Because as well, governance as a whole, being a trustee or a governor is not accessible.
Okay.
Oh, no.
It's kind of like who you know type thing.
Yeah.
And that's where my sort of drive and my I guess platform is going. Like, I want more people to know how to access it in a way of, you don't need to know someone in order to become a governor. And I always say, like, come and sit at the table with me, because actually your lived experience is enough to bring you to that table. Yeah. Your experience is unique to you, but also it's unique to every situation, because no one's going to have your exact lived experience. Yeah. And how do we continue bringing people like that? Like, Immediate Theatre has worked with hundreds of thousands of young people at this point. And a few years ago, Idris Elba became our patron, and actually using him as an actor who's came from a working class background, and young people seeing that journey. And even from my school perspective, like, seeing young people seeing those journeys. And, you know, I said to, I spoke at one of our award ceremonies in November, and I said, no matter where you are now, it's not the end. Like, no one can tell you where the ceiling is, because actually, no matter the cards you're dealt, no matter the situations that happen to you, like, anything is possible if you put your mind to it. And that's it, pretty much, really.
Oh, that's brilliant, man. That's amazing, man. It's
a journey, man.
A little synopsis.
It's nice. Really, just really insightful, and it's good to let us know, like, because like I said, I didn't even know what a governor or a trustee does. Tell us a bit about the Gary Francis Award. How did that come about, and what's that entail?
Oh, you guys really done your research.
Sometimes look up a little, every day just watch a movie. Sometimes do your Googles, you know. Sometimes do your Googles.
Jesus.
2019 and that.
Yeah, I think I won the first one in like 2014.
Oh, there's multiple, yeah?
There's two.
Okay.
So out here, reigning champ.
2013 or 2014.
Okay.
And 2019 essentially was like overcoming.
Champ.
I think it was about like, I can't remember exactly, but overcoming adversity. Like, I've been through a lot in my life, and, you know, really just persevering. Like, I always say, my purpose is bigger than me. Mm-hmm. So whilst, you know, I'm chair of trustees and chair of governors, I also have a full-time job. And these things equally act like free full-time jobs. Yeah. And
I know what you do. I know what you do.
Oh, God, you've gone on LinkedIn too?
I know you do. I know what you do.
Yeah, so just really like, if I remember correctly, just really always putting stuff out there and, you know, doing other things. I think it was also on the basis of essentially working with Hackney Council to put the Hackney Young Futures Commission project together. And it was one of the largest consultations for young people in and around Hackney, like neighbouring boroughs. And also like just for the fact that at one point in my life I was homeless.
Okay.
And
what age was that?
16, 17.
Okay.
And it came from like, despite that, I was still attending meetings, I was still doing all of these things, and really just continuously pushing on, and I guess giving parts of me to, I guess, the community that raised me, essentially, because they say it takes a village, but it really does take a community. Because you know, my mum was very, and shout out to mum again, my mum, she didn't limit me from anything, like actually going allow me to have experiences that took me out of my comfort zone. Like, there's a lot of people that think, sorry, young people in Hackney, but Clacton and Clapton are the same place. Like, it's not, it's funny, we laugh here, but it's actually real life. Like, people are like, oh yeah, I'll say, oh, should we go to Clacton? When I was doing youth work, like, should we go to Clacton on a trip? What do you mean Clapton up the road? No, Clapton's a whole train journey away. Do you get what I mean? And it's actually like,
people need to get away and rest. It's a problem.
Staycation.
Yeah, literally, and just really just taking people out of their zone. And like I said, my purpose is beyond me, and whatever way I can sort of give back to the community that raised me, then I will.
Oh, that's lit.
So away from like all your work with like the trustee and the board and stuff like that, I'm also aware that you might be into like a little filmmaking.
Oh my God.
The research. I'm trying to tell you that we do the research, cuz.
We do the research.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
oh my God!
I'm alright. No, I'm serious. We ain't gonna do all that. We ain't gonna do that. Big up all my people with the allergies out here. You know how I feel right now. You hear me as a squint.
You said hay fever.
Bro, we're alright though. We're alright. We rock true.
Alright, man. So you're into a little bit of filmmaking and stuff like that. A little bit back in the day, little piece. Like
Small. I worked on a project with the Open University to understand what Hackney like meant to me and what the sense of belonging was. And as part of that project, it was a funded project, and we got the opportunity to create a film. And this version of me would very much cringe at watching the film. Okay. But actually, it's manifested. Yeah. It's manifested in a lot of things. Like, I think I remember saying a line of like, Hackney is home, but it won't be home forever. And I now live in Kent. So it's one of those things.
Well, we've got some of the movie here. So I'm joking.
No. You could never. I would be like,
full of the old school reels.
I would be like, you know what, guys, it was lovely.
Yeah, no, that's
cease and desist as soon as I leave the door. Because what? Nah.
Full footage gone.
Yeah.
No, it was a good opportunity because it really allowed me to really think about like what Hackney meant to me, but also the fact that like growing up, Hackney was one of those places people didn't want to go.
Yeah. And
to be able to showcase a different side to Hackney. And really, like, even a lot of people like, oh, you go for walks. Like, you like the water. I'm like, duh, I'm a Pisces. Hello.
Hold on, wait.
We ain't going to do that, are we?
Oh.
We're not going to do this star sign thing.
Hold on, wait. Is everybody just like, all right, cool.
We're going to do the star sign thing.
No. I was just like, everybody like, what's going on? Do you swim?
I do.
Right. Cool.
Can you swim?
Yeah, well.
Basic swimming, though.
Again, just like, it's just like, what was it before? I can't remember what it was before, but there's different levels of swimming. Can I swim in a swimming pool? Yeah. Can I swim in the sea? Yeah. 2 different types of swimming.
Can you swim?
Yeah. In what? In the swimming pool or the sea?
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Can you swim? No, it's fine. It's fine.
In the swimming pool.
But you can't swim in the sea.
Yeah. I can swim in the sea.
No, I can swim in the sea, but yeah, I'm not that confident to swim out in the sea.
When I went on holiday, do you know the boys?
Oh, is that where you?
That's where I swam to.
Wow.
The who?
the buoys, the thing that bounces in the sea.
Oh, okay.
I
So that's what I'm talking about.
you
I'm
swim
not,
to that?
I'm not open water swimming
No,
like
no,
that.
no.
No,
You're not on that.
no.
I don't trust.
Because them
people
waves
like that.
wave.
That's why I'm not like that.
I
You
think
hear
it's the way
me?
you get taught. To. Like if you get taught the safe way, armbands and I got taught. My dad said, "Jump in and swim to me."
Oh,
I can't swim.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like he goes,
I'm armbands, Janet Adeoki Centre.
Oh shit! I used to go Janet Adegoki. I used to go there. On Bloemfontein. I used to go there.
Oh, the local, yeah, me, the local.
I used to go there. They used to have the diving board. I used to go and bust my eye on that. I got a scarf, bust my eye with my goggles on that.
Where is that?
It's
White
a bush.
Sea.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, it's literally White Sea. Don't do that.
That's
You need to
bush,
learn
no?
No, it's White City.
Is it?
It's
Back then it
frontline,
was
bro.
bushes.
Okay.
No, it's frontline. It's White Sea.
it?
Shop front.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I used to go there. I used to do kung fu there as well.
Same.
Did you?
Yeah. Zhang Chuquan. With Barry.
No, you did.
No way, bro.
Don't do
You
that.
did it with Barry?
Yeah.
No way,
I mean,
bro.
how are you? The
Yeah,
little guys
I
in you.
know them. You
No.
from the ends, bro. I'm not going to say
way.
their names or hold them up.
Sorry, what year did you guys?
No, we're going
meet?
to talk after. That's mad. Like about 100 episodes ago. No way, bro.
Yeah, I used to do that.
Oh, that's random, bro.
That's crazy.
That is
bro.
random.
That's wild. With a little wireless suit.
Yeah,
with the thing on the
yeah,
red thing on
Zhang
the back.
Chuquan.
Zhang Chuquan, yeah, I used to do
Yeah.
that. Little,
Mad.
oh shit. Okay,
Random.
anyway, man.
Yeah,
Shekeila, how you doing, man? You alright?
You know what? I'm here for this. I'm here for this.
No, that is
that's
random.
crazy.
That is random.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. That's
Crazy.
wild.
Crazy.
Get smaller.
But yeah, okay, cool. So
What's been one of your biggest takeaways while being like part of the trustees and governors? Like, what was something that you didn't really expect it would be like, but you've kind of enjoyed? What's like a moment you could take away from that?
I'll go recent actually, like the platform. Speaking about my story and not realizing how many people it would help. Too often I've just been behind the scenes doing things, just getting on with things, and actually I did a women's hour interview at the beginning of this year, and literally by the time I finished talking, picked up my phone, I had 6 messages, bearing in mind I didn't tell anyone that I was doing it, and actually people realizing me not talking about it or telling people my story when I meet them or whatever not, the amount of people that said, I didn't even know that about you. I had family calling saying like, this
for real.
family saying calling, you was excluded? What do you mean? Yeah, not even the fact.
My whole speech. That's what you drew in.
Literally,
Cool,
not
cool,
even
cool.
the fact that like I've circled back, I've done 1,000 times things better than what had happened, but the fact that like I don't talk about it,
Yeah.
and actually realizing like the amount of people that got in touch saying, how can I get involved? How can I do something? And for me, my job here is done. Knowing that actually I've inspired one person to take this step to, be at the table, whether it be in a passive way or an indirect way, that for me is the sort of biggest takeaway. Like sometimes, to your own horn, because actually you are the shit. And you are expert in your field. Like the whole thing came about because I became the youngest chair of governors in the UK, self-proclaimed, but no one's told me any different.
I mean, sometimes,
Self-proclaimed, but no one told me.
Jadakiss has been saying top 5 dead or alive. No one will tell him nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, because that's how it be sometimes.
No one ain't refuted my claims.
All right.
Youngest chair of governors at 26, and actually, like that in itself is a big achievement because when you think about governance as a whole, 3% of governors are under 30.
wow.
Oh.
Yeah,
How many of them are under 30 and black?
even less.
0.0000.
Maybe.
You
0.00
really
Shekeila.
anomaly out here, boy. 0.000 point.
That is the funny thing. We're quite small, but actually, it took for me to see another black woman chair of
Okay.
governors
In order
for
to-
me to do it.
Yeah.
And actually, like that whole circle back, and it took for someone to inspire me, and I want to be inspiring.
What's her name?
Katie Doncor. Katie.
Right.
Big
I have
up,
another
gal
clip
like
for you.
Katie.
Katie.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, it was just seeing her passion and her drive, and actually, like, we had a brief period of mentoring, and actually her just taking me through that entrance journey into becoming a governor, a chair of governors, because I was a governor prior, and actually like her support and just seeing someone else doing it it's like, yeah, I can do this.
Yeah.
I can be that person. And if I can be that person for someone else in any capacity,
Then
I'm done. My purpose.
that's true. It's true. No, that is lit, man.
Oh, that's good, man. That was
You have lived
Thank you.
a very fruitful life so far. Like, it's been enjoyable.
Yeah.
Well, apart from 12 of you guys, because I'm sure that was a bit of a dark moment in
like
life.
being homeless ain't
Yeah,
that great.
yeah. Maybe
I know
17.
that feeling,
It's what you make of it, though. Like, honestly, you can't just let life
Yeah,
get you down.
Yes.
100%. Make sure you.
So take those spontaneous trips,
Yeah, I was
guys.
just about to
Let's
say.
circle back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Same, man. Take those trips.
Relax and
Relax.
take it easy.
Yeah.